Welcome back into the Irish NFL show here in Radio Row, brought to you by Dunes and Drams Air Travel Partner. Connor Rogers joins me, familiar face to the show, NBC Sports and the NFL Stock Exchange podcast. Very, very good podcast.
Thank you.
The business.
Thank you. Business. Love being back with you guys. Always a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. How are you guys doing? I feel like you're super busy this week.
It's been chaotic. It's been great though. Really great.
How long the flight?
10 hours direct.
So there is direct flights.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Airling is 12:30. It lands at 10 Irish time.
Yeah.
Knock back your 8 hours. 2:30 in the afternoon.
That's not bad. I mean, from New York, it's still 6.5, so it's really not that different.
On the way back, not direct.
No, you got to connect.
Into New Jersey.
Are you guys staying for the game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we're out of here on Monday.
Okay, awesome. Well done. A true proper trip.
Some of the guys who aren't on the camera have been here since last Saturday, so that'll be like 9 days.
I mean, look at this. I feel like you guys have come a long way. We got the full production table. I always like the branding. You're easy to find.
You're one of the Hall of Famers, though. So we're creating this Hall of Fame list.
I'll take that honor. I absolutely will take that honor. I'll call myself a multi-time guest as well.
But we've been thankful and thanking people this week who've come on this week.
Yeah.
And we're part of the original people. I know there's people on the show who are no longer involved. You're a good friend of Colin's, and I'm the only one left from the original crew.
Yeah.
But we've been thanking people who come on and gave up their time, because without people like yourself to support us, this doesn't happen. This happens because we put the effort in. But in order to get to where we are, you need people like yourself to support it.
Well, I really appreciate that. I love what you guys do. I'm particularly a big fan of what you do because I'm of Irish heritage and I love Ireland itself. And I think getting the game that I love and get to cover for a living in football, more prominence and recognition. And that's got a life of its own in Ireland. NFL football right now, it's amazing, but it's something that's really important to me. I've always loved how supportive of it Tom Brady has been, specifically as a player. Yeah. And it's great to see more players and hopefully media and you guys having success to do that. I'm sure you have felt the growth over the years, specifically from Ireland itself.
Yeah. So this is my 5th Super Bowl, and you go around other years and there are people who are kind of gradually aware of who we are and what we do and how we cover the game all year long, no matter what section it's. But this week in particular, and it's probably relevant to the fact that these are popping. Yeah. But people are coming up and going, "Oh, we were looking for you," and the people are bringing other people over to us. Yes. Said, do you know where they're based?
It should mean something. You guys should be proud of that. And it's great to see that the NFL is recognizing it now with the international series and the Ireland being a big part of that.
It was a huge moment.
It's really, really big. And I think it's, people get caught up in the international series because of the travel and the stress it puts on players. Ireland's not a bad trip, but they're thinking of like the Australias and things like that. But it's beyond worth it because being a global game, it's not something I ever thought would happen in my lifetime, really. And it truly is becoming a global game. And the Irish fans are very deserving because they are so receptive to NFL football and college football making its way onto their territory. And it's beautiful to watch.
I recall being at the first game in Wembley 2007. The Giants beat the Dolphins, Giants fan, obviously, and then they go on and win the Super Bowl that year. But I never genuinely believed that we'd be in a situation where you have 3 London games, a Paris game, right? Germany, Spain have got another game. Mexico's back on the radar. We've had the Brazil game. The
Brazil game's wild.
Melbourne. And the Melbourne one for me is, I would say, has had a bit of a very mixed reaction. Yes. I think it kind of brings us a little bit back to where we were when this all started, around the reaction of people stateside because of the enormity of how far it's going to be for the teams, when the game will be played, how far are they going to go, the time zone, suggesting a Sunday morning local time in Melbourne, which then for us is another 10 hours back. Then so it's 15 hours Eastern time. It'll probably be likely, you would imagine. There's not really going to be an impact timing-wise. I'd imagine it'll be still 8:15, Eastern time.
Right.
But it does feel like there's been a little bit of reservation around this one.
It does. I think when you look at it, teams put a lot of time and preparation and the sports science strategy behind the art of, do you get there early? Do you get there late? Do you try to push it as much as you can? How do we recover from this? They have the option to take the bye week after. Some teams don't like it. Some teams do. What's ironic is I think when we get to the 18-game season, and I think we're a lot closer than many even realize.
Do you believe that? Because, I think they're trying to manage people's expectations slightly.
Yeah, they could, because they're going to need to give in a lot in return. So they have to set the bar pretty stubbornly and say, we don't have interest in that right now. When we get there, it gives you 2 bye weeks. And if you have 2 bye weeks, if you're playing an international game, you have to take the bye week after. That should be and then you use your other bye week whenever the NFL gives it to you. So I think that that'll actually help the international program, and hopefully it continues to grow. I'm sure there's going to be a time in my lifetime where we have an international Super Bowl, and I'm very.
That'd be very interesting how
that'll be very interesting how it's decided. Who's you would think London, because of it being London and the the stadium options they have, and that they've done it. They've had NFL football and their own version of football for a long time. That maybe they would be the front runner, but I don't know. I don't know what it would look like.
I did think that until this season, myself and Connor went to the Madrid game.
Yeah.
The Commanders and the Dolphins. And I've been to the Bernabeu for football, but I hadn't been to it since it was redeveloped.
Yeah.
And it was arguably one of the top stadiums I've ever been to.
That's what everyone says.
I said to Connor, I said, this is the kind of surroundings you could easily see a Super Bowl in.
Yeah.
What concerns me, and we're really getting into the devil detail, is adverse weather conditions. Look, we see in state, they tried to make sure the Super Bowl. I don't think they're ever going to go back to a MetLife Super Bowl.
I don't think so.
Or Minnesota, because there was more around. Keep trying to get the place in Minnesota was a disaster. That's a concern for me if they looked at that. But
that'll be a really interesting thing. They're going to have to, and that's why we might be a little further from that, because there's a lot of
time zones.
There's the time zone aspect, the weather aspect, the travel aspect, and then the media aspect. I think of not to be selfish, but there's a lot of American media that cover American football, and then they all have to figure out a way overseas. But I think we'll get there eventually. And since I cover the Super Bowl every year for NBC, I'll have no problem going to Madrid. Or sign me up. I'll go basically anywhere.
Let's get into the detail, which is this Sunday. I'm going to show a bit of a storyline at you, because when we were interviewing last year, and we were having a bit of crack, as I say, and you're tongue in cheek about Saquon Barkley playing for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and how much it felt to the Giants fans to actually see that. You are very far removed from Sam Darnold. You still haven't found the quarterback of the future with the Jets. And it's a mixed bag. Irish Jets fans come from and say, look, Sam Darnold's been to numerous teams since he left the Jets. So it feels like that conversation is so long gone. But there is a few Jets fans that said it kind of just, again, throws us back to where we are as a team organization, that he's now playing in the Super Bowl, and yet the Jets haven't found their future quarterback.
That's the proper way to look at it, right? That a lot of majority of Jets fans are rooting for Sam Darnold, because they think they're not wrong. Number one, they want the Patriots to lose. That's number one for Jets fans. Number two is the fact that it feels like, understandably, the Jets failed Sam. Sam didn't fail the Jets, and Sam has always taken the high road. Even to this day, he has always taken the high road. So you have that aspect as well. And then you have the fact, too, that, like you said, Sam didn't figure it out right away after the Jets. He didn't figure it out in Carolina. He had what I would deem a redshirt year in San Francisco in the school of Kyle Shanahan. I think that goes so under the radar in helping him.
It's funny you should say that, sorry, because we interviewed Dan Orlovsky yesterday from ESPN, and he pointed to that particular year.
Yes.
And an interesting nugget from that interview yesterday was Kyle Shanahan said, if I had to start Sam Darnold with a Brock Purdy situation, I'd have absolutely no doubts he could go in. And that was an eye-opener at the time. Think, okay, but if Kyle Shanahan's got to that stage where he's comfortable, maybe there is something here.
And to be fair to Shanahan, he's felt like that since Sam was a prospect coming out of college. So that is real and authentic. And then I think that mentally equipped Sam that when he got to Minnesota, the actual playing aspect was a little bit easier of an adjustment. He ends up being the starter. He has a really good year. Unfortunately, all anyone remembers is how it ends. Minnesota makes a tough decision. They move on. They don't want to pay him. They're going to start their guy they drafted in the top 10 in J.J. McCarthy. And now look at Darnold on another team with the Seattle Seahawks. And he's not a passenger. Like he's driving the ship, and they're a really good football team. They are built on their defense and the run game, but Darnold is every bit a part of their success. And I would really love to see him put a bow on this comeback story here in Santa Clara, San Francisco.
Every year there's always rookies who are immediately their first year, they're thrown into the deep end, and they end up in the Super Bowl. Campbell's kind of struggled of late. Hendrickson's kind of dropped off slightly in terms of his game in the running game. Kieran, who's really into the college game, similar to yourself, he talks about the toll of a rookie player to play an NFL season immediately, because their kind of season tends to end in November, unless they're playing a Pro Bowl game. A college. The games thereafter in the postseason. Do you think that's a huge key? The fact that longevity of the season for these guys are not used to it.
Yeah, and it's multifaceted, right? You have the fact that one, they never got to take a break, and two, the fact that they don't know what an NFL season is like. It's different from a college football season. Not only the fact that the hits are a lot different and the speed of the game is different and it's mentally more taxing, but the longevity of it. We had Tyler Shuck on this morning, just voted on as the fan rookie of the year. And it was one of the first things he brought up, because we were like, dude, when you got in there, the offense was humming and like you looked ready to roll. And And he said, he's like, part of it is you don't really get a break. And then he got to sit for 2 months. And I think as much as he's a competitor, it really helped him. It helped him see everything and understand everything and understand where to go with the ball. And so I think not every quarterback is afforded that luxury. Not every rookie is afforded that luxury, but more often than not, the hardest time period is your final college season to the end of your NFL rookie season, because it's so much more physically and mentally taxing than any other year.
What was your grade on him coming in? We had Jeff Duncan from Saints beat writer on yesterday, and he said there's a real confidence in the local area now that he is the answer, where at the start of the season, a lot of people felt the Saints were in this rebuild mode, which essentially they are, still are. But people felt, we're not going to use the word tanking, but they felt they wouldn't win enough games, therefore they'd be in the sweepstakes for a quarterback this year, albeit it seems like there's only one of real kind of significance coming in. But where were you last year around him and his ability to go into the league?
With Chuck?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're okay. I thought he was pretty much almost where he went as that day two kind of guy that, he played 7 years of college football.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, it's hard to call him a developmental kind of guy. He had a big arm. He had 3 different injuries through 7 years of college at multiple programs. So it's really just about staying healthy. He's a good athlete for his size, but his mental processing, I don't even think I appreciated enough in that final season at Louisville, because he's somebody that in the drop back passing game, he's so good with timing and accuracy and even the touch throwing. And I thought he was a better runner this year than we saw at the end of college. I think part of that is the health. So I think he's actually going to outplay his draft slot and outplay opinions of people like me that were like, hey, Tyler Shuck will be the 2nd round quarterback and hopefully you develop him into a starter. I mean, everything we saw this year, he looks like he's going to be head and shoulders above that.
Drake May's not outplaying any charts or any boards, because everybody knew he was a fantastic talent coming out of the college. And we go into this game on Sunday. Is it more about how he manages the expectation of the game, the enormity of what's ahead for him on Sunday?
It is, but this is a game where he's going to have to hit a big throw. It's the Super Bowl. Seattle's not going to make it easy on you. They're aggressive. They're fast. They can take away the football. They can play in lighter personnel and still defend the run really well. New England loves to run the ball. They thrive in the screen game. They're going to have to get Hunter Henry going in this game against Seattle's middle of the field defense. But, listen, does Kayshon Boutte get a one-on-one and you take a shot down the field? Like
similar to the Texans game.
Right, exactly. So he's going to have to hit one. They're not going to be able to get away with that the entire time.
Methodical drives.
Right.
Run the ball.
They'll have theirs, but I think that Seattle's too good to think you're going to win that way.
Yeah. Do you like the aggressive manner of the Seahawks, just in particular the NFC Championship game? So people are going to have this mindset. We run the ball effectively. We put Sam Darnold in second and reasonable, but he was a bit more assertive and aggressive. I know he came off the injury list. In particular, that drive before halftime, I thought that was really stood out. The fact that some teams would say, right, we're in a position at halftime, we'll go for a field goal, but they went straight down the field, deep throw, Smith-Jigba, then they get the touchdown. There was a much more aggressive manner. Probably had to, because this Rams offense is really good. They put 427 yards of, but people are suggesting on Sunday, again, just flip to the Seahawks, they need to run the ball effectively. But they could be the ones making big plays as well.
Yeah, I don't think New England will let you do that. They're really responsible up front. They got big defensive tackles. They play head up. They're a good tackling team. The linebackers fly around. But the good thing with Darnold is, as we just saw him be able to put that on his shoulders as well. And even if they try to take away JSN, Rashid Shaheed can be a big X factor in this game. He's just got some of the best speed in the NFL. Do you get one over the top? So I think Darnold will not be afraid to go into gunslinger mode if he has to, where in the previous years, you're like, I don't want that drop back strip for Sam Darnold. He's starting to kind of shed some of those demons.
That was the reason for the trade. Ultimately, was it to have that deep check, to bring him in for that explosive situation where if JSN is taken out of the game, Barnett's not getting open in the midfield as a tight end, we go after Shaheed and we go with a deep bomb.
Right. Yeah. I want to see, like, does Shaheed get a jet sweep? We get a punt return, a kick return. You need to threaten early on the horizontal speed of the game to make the defense respect that, and then it'll open up the vertical aspect.
As we close this one out, Connor, what's your gut for Sunday? And who's going to come out on top?
So I like Seattle to win, which I know isn't bold. Yeah. I don't love the spread on this game. I really don't. Yeah. 4.5 points is what the latest has been.
We had Beeson live. One of the guys from Beeson live today. It's a very intriguing number. It's not even a 3.5 one, or
No, I know it opened at 3.5. I don't love the spread. I like Seattle to win. I like Shaheed to score a touchdown. But I like the under. 21-17 kind of situation for me. So I think this will be a tight game. I think it'll be a grinded out kind of game. And I think Seattle, at the end of the day, is going to be your Super Bowl champions in Super Bowl 60.
There you have from Connor. Seahawks win. Don't cover the spread. Take the Patriots 4.5 and Steve for a touchdown. Connor, you've been very generous with your time. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Thanks for coming on the Irish NFL show.